Welcome to the forecast for the week of November 6th through the 12th. I cannot believe we're already in November. We're starting to feel the shift into the end of the year. As I mentioned in the November forecast, we are experiencing the 9 energy of November, this release, this purge, this one last cleanse before the end of the year to get us ready for the momentum of 2024. So I'm super excited for this week ahead, so that we can move forward. We are experiencing a little bit of diamonds, but mostly clubs energy this week. So we are cleansing the mind. We are clearing out old stories, old thoughts, old patterns, old beliefs, so that we can experience the ultimate experience that we desire in 2024. So without further ado, let's dive in. So Monday is our last day of diamonds. Monday, we have the Ace of Diamonds and the ruling 6 energy, a time to really plant the most potent seeds for your future. We are still experiencing eclipse energy. We've got this beautiful Scorpio new moon coming forward. We've got all this energy that's occurring to help us clear the pathway. And when we are clearing the pathway, it is so important that we choose what we will experience in the new pathway, that we're not just willy-nilly going about it hoping for the best. We need to set very powerful intentions for what we desire to experience. And the invitation of the Ace of Diamonds is to believe that you can have it all, that you don't need to sacrifice one thing for another, that you can have the family, the love, the money, the business, the impact. You can have everything that you desire without sacrificing one thing for another. That's what the Ace of Diamonds really wants us to understand. It might feel overwhelming. Your brain, the stories you tell yourself might feel overwhelming, but really, you can have it all. And that's the invitation of that Ace of Diamonds. The 6 is inviting you to notice anything in your experience that isn't necessarily adding up to those intentions, to notice the feedback that you're getting in the world and go, oh, okay, I see that habit. I see that pattern. I see that thing that I always do, that I need to pivot. Doesn't mean you need to do anything about it. It's saying witness it. You don't need to change it. You don't need to judge yourself. All you need to do is witness and go, okay, I choose to go this way. I choose this. I choose this. I choose this. I'm setting intentions for this. And I'm willing to witness that feedback that I'm receiving that doesn't add up to this, right? So amplify your intention on Monday, get really clear, write it down, put it on Post-it notes everywhere around your house, write it on your whiteboard, get it in your phone reminders. Create those visual reminders for yourself. Create a mantra around your intention. Be very intentional about visual reminders so that you can trigger your brain, your little monkey mind, to go, oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. Because we are creatures of habit, and our brain is designed to just do the same thing over and over and over again. So if you want to create change, if you want to add more love into your life, if you want more clients in your business, if you want to be more consistent in creating content and being visible, if you want to create a podcast or be a guest on podcasts, you need to remind your brain over and over and over again that this is what you're doing, because your brain will forget and go eat chocolate or Netflix binge or get distracted or do something that's not related to that thing that you want. So amplify your intention by writing it down and getting it in those places where you will see it over and over and over again. Monday's energy is an opportunity for you to dream, to imagine, to contemplate, to really feel what it is that you're creating for your future, your legacy. One of my clients this morning said that, used that word legacy, and I really love that word. One day, as she said, you will be someone's ancestor. What is the legacy you are leaving behind? So that's Monday. So then we move into Tuesday. Tuesday's energy, we've got a King of Clubs ruling 7 energy. We begin to shift into the clubs energy where the mind is going to be very, very active. And the mind is going to want to either control it all or go share a message with the world. Now, we know we can't control it all, so don't try. Just let that go. But that ruling 7 wants you to take a leap of faith. It wants you to take action. Now, the King of Clubs is going to have you thinking that you need to have all the answers and you need to know all the hows and you need to reverse engineer and you need to have it all figured out before you can take action. And the 7 says, no, go do it now. Forget about perfection. Forget about control. Just go. Just do it. All you have to do is take one action. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. All you need to know is the next. That's it. You don't need all the answers. You just need the next answer. So focus on what's next for you. If you are wanting to build a podcast, if you're wanting to be a guest on a podcast, if you're wanting to be more consistent in your content, if you want to write a book, if whatever it is, those are big projects. What's the first thing you need to do? Get clear on that and then take action on that. That's all you got to do on Tuesday. One step forward. Maybe take 2. If you get that first one done in the morning, take 2. Do one in the afternoon as well. But really, remember that you don't need to have it all figured out. Just take a deep breath throughout the day. That 7 energy is going to want to move quickly. It's going to be very distracted. It's going to be bouncing all over the place going, ooh, shiny. And you're going to be like, oh, I want to build a podcast. So I need a website and I need this and this and this and this. And then pretty soon you're down the rabbit hole of shiny objects that you don't need. Instead, come back to what is the first thing I need to do? Well, maybe I need to reach out to somebody who has a podcast and ask them what I can do. Just so you know, I have a podcast. If that's something that you want to do, it is a lot simpler than what you might think. Okay, so breathe, remember your why, and go after it. But don't go after all of it, just one thing, and have faith. Have faith that you will figure it out along the way. So many clients, I see this happen time and time again, where, well, I can't go do that until and that's not true. You will learn along the way. I had a desire to have a podcast 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I can't even remember now. And I was told over and over and over again by every podcast coach out there, you've got to plan your marketing a year out in advance. You've got to have all this crap in place. You've got to have somebody to edit, and you've got to have somebody to do this and somebody to do that. And I said, I just want to have a flipping podcast. And so I launched my podcast in 2 weeks, and 7 months later, it went around the world. It is in every country around the world. I don't edit. I do not have a website for the podcast, and everything that I do for it is free. So if you want to know the simpler way to do it, reach out to me. Let's talk, because it's way less complicated than you might think. So Tuesday, be willing to free fall. Take the leap and take action, but not all the actions, just one step, maybe 2. Wednesday, we've got a Queen of Clubs and ruling 8. Wisdom flows through you if you are willing to listen and not be stubborn. Don't get lost in your stories. Don't listen to that voice in your head that tells you all the things you can't do, that gives you all the reasons why you can't have, that tells you all the things that you used to do in the past, and so obviously you can't do it now. Hear those excuses and say, not today. I choose differently today. Don't be stubborn and choose to stay in those stories. You get to choose on a daily basis, a minute-to-minute basis, how you experience your life. So choose. Notice that ego. Notice where the ego is trying to keep you safe. It's not the ego's fault. It's supposed to do that. That's its job. We love our ego, but your ego doesn't have to run the show. There is a part of you that carries more wisdom than the ego, that knows this is the right pathway. And I know I can do it. I know I've got power flowing through me. I have got this. I can do hard things. I am willing to take steps forward when I don't know what the hell I'm doing. That's what that energy is asking you to do. And to notice where you might think you have it all figured out. Because here's the thing, if you know all the hows and how to get what you want, you'd already have what you want. Not your job to know how, it's your job to be in flow and take the steps forward based on your inner wisdom as to how you go. So get into that flow, meditate, listen, journal, trust. All those words, use them, right? You are being initiated because that Scorpio new moon is coming and your legacy is being created. So don't listen to those old stories and you tell that ego, I love you, but you're not running the show. Thursday, we move into the Jack of Clubs ruling 9 energy. This is an invitation to continue the initiation because the Jack of Clubs doesn't know anything. The Jack of Clubs knows enough, but not everything. And so the Jack of Clubs gets caught in this story of, well, I don't know enough, so I can't take action forward. I can't move forward. I got to go learn something else. I've got to sign up for another $20 course. I'm not doing my reels good enough, or my stories good enough, or I'm not quite sure what I should be sharing in my content, so I'm just not going to do it, or I'm going to just overdo it. The Jack of Clubs is meant to be very curious and very open and very willing to take steps forward, even if you don't have enough, that'll be the word, that you think that you don't know enough. So the Jack of Clubs 9 energy is a really interesting energy. It's like that, the moment that you think you know, you don't know. So my dad was a 2nd degree black belt, and his first black belt that he got, some of you have heard me share this story before. The first black belt that he ever got, he wore it out. And when it wore out, it turned white. So if you don't know how karate works, you start with a white belt and end with a black belt. But what happened was he'd had that black belt for so long that it eventually wore out and the fabric on it turned white again. Well, in that story there, it's like, you think you know because you're a black belt. That is years and years and years of study and dedication and devotion to your craft. And then that belt turning white again says, but you don't know. You don't know. There is another level. There's always another level. So this Jack of Clubs 9 energy is allowing the ego time to adjust to a new awareness. So it's opening you up to learn something new, but don't just jump in. Just be curious. I wonder what I might learn today. I wonder what's possible. I wonder what that hawk flying through the sky actually means. I've given it meaning for years and years and years. What if it means something completely different? Right? Watch those stories that you're telling yourself. Friday, 10 of Clubs, ruling 1. Holy moly, hold on to your hats, or your notebooks, should I say. The 10 of Clubs 1 wants you to open your consciousness and receive inspiration. So if you notice that throughout the week, it's wisdom flows through you, be open, be curious. Friday feels like the day where it's going to be like, bam, and it all lands. And you're going to be like, whoa, oh my God, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and ideas and ideas and ideas. And now I'm overwhelmed. So breathe. It's going to be okay. Allow those ideas to flood through and capture them, because you won't be able to take action on all of them all at once, but you might find the clarity coming through for you. That new moon is coming in. It's that 10 of Clubs is all about inspiration, innovation, new ideas. That 1 is bringing in all those new ideas as well. And so it may feel a little overwhelming of like, holy crap, now I have all this clarity and now I got to go do it all. Again, you don't build Rome in a day, right? It could either be exhilarating or overwhelming. So what I always suggest to my clients is to carry an ideas journal, write it down, because you're not going to be able to take action on all of them at the same time. And you may find that by the end of the day or through that new moon, things might start to land where the clarity starts to come through of how all these ideas fit together in the big puzzle of things. So just allow all of that to just flow through you onto multiple pieces of paper, or 1 piece of paper, or in your phone, whatever. Just write it down. Don't get lost in the overwhelm. Just breathe. You've got this. And then we move into the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, we've got 9 of Clubs, 8 of Clubs, ruling 2, ruling 3. This is about seeing the possibilities that are available to you and being willing to develop a relationship with possibility thinking. Instead of the stories of I can't, I won't, I never used to be able to, I haven't been able to, start telling the story of what if I could? Well, I don't know how to do a podcast. I've never done a podcast before. Every time I've tried to start a podcast, it just flopped. What if this time it doesn't? Well, I've been burned by business coaches before, and I just don't know, and I don't have enough money to be able to invest in this. And what if this time you do? What if? Use that as your mantra all weekend long. Whatever story you find yourself telling about anything in your life that you want to change, notice it and pivot it into possibility. What if? Because what if you could have everything you wanted? What if you could have a podcast that went viral? What if you could hire 2, 3 business coaches and get it done? What if you hired a business coach and you got a return on investment immediately and got your first client and paid for your first payment to your coach? What if you wanted to create an email list and you're caught up in the story of how you're not good with technology and you don't know how to do it, and I don't know how to build a workbook, and I'm not good at design, and I just don't know what to create? What if you do? You see what I'm doing here? Pivot everything of I can't, I won't, I don't know how into what if I can, what if I do, right? And amplify that. Give space for these ideas to formulate for yourself. The new moon is coming on Monday. So give yourself space over the weekend. Notice these stories. Start letting these stories break free, because these stories are your prison and they're holding you back from extraordinary. So let go of these stories. Now, the weekend might be emotional. The weekend might cause these doubts and insecurities and all this stuff to come up. Do not numb yourself out. Do not check out. That new moon is inspiring you to witness your demons, to stare them in the eyes and to face them down once and for all. Do not be afraid. You can do hard things, because I know if you are here watching this, you have done hard things. You absolutely have, and you absolutely can. So no matter what doubt creeps into your mind, stare it down, look it straight in the eyes and say, I can do hard things. So with that being said, it is going to be a beautiful week. It is going to be an intense week. And you've got this. I know you do. And if you are struggling in any way, shape, or form, do not hesitate to reach out. Send me a DM, send me an email. I will point you in the right direction, or I will find a way to support you. But it is absolutely crucial that you do not try to go through what you might be going through on your own. Reach out to your friends, your loved ones. You can do this. It's not, and for some of you, it may just be you're just lit up and inspired and ready to rock and roll and you are going. And that's good too. If you're in that place, reach out a helping hand to somebody who doesn't feel the same way. All right.